For this you need to understand how to multiply and divide by 1,000. If you're unsure about that, check the video at the beginning of this playlist. Converting one unit of measure to another, I'm going to start with mass or weight, because generally there's just two of these to remember, so it's an easy one to start with. The two units that we generally deal with are grams and kilograms. And if we have 1,000 grams, we get 1 kilogram. So 1,000 grams is the same as 1 kilogram. If we have 1 gram, we multiply it by 1,000, we get a kilogram. And if we have a kilogram and we divide it by 1,000, we get 1 gram. On this table, we're going to convert some grams and kilograms, remembering the conversion is 1,000 grams in a kilogram. If we have 1 kilogram, and that's 1,000 grams, that will help us to work out that if we have 2 kilograms, that must be 2,000 grams, and 10 kilograms must be 10,000 grams. So however many kilograms we have, that's how many thousands of grams we have. Looking at this the other way round, if we have 5,000 grams, because there are 5,000, that means that there are 5 kilograms. Something that does cause a lot of confusion, even for GCSE students, is remembering whether you need to multiply or divide when you're converting from one unit of measure to another. With all measures, it's worth remembering that the smaller the unit you're using, the more you will need. So if you're weighing something using grams, you're going to need more grams. If you're measuring the same thing using kilograms, you're going to need fewer, because a kilogram weighs a lot more than a gram, 1,000 times more. The smaller the unit, the more you will need. The bigger the unit, the less or fewer you will need, and that works with all the measures that you'll learn. Going back to 1,000 grams equals 1 kilogram. If we have 2,500 grams, what's that in kilograms? If we identify how many thousands there are in the grams, that will tell us how many whole kilograms there are. So we have 2 whole kilograms, but we have 500 grams left over. If we're converting that to kilograms, we would put a decimal point, and that 500 grams goes after the decimal point because it's not a whole kilogram. And if you've already covered decimal numbers, you will know that that's the same as just 2.5. So 2,500 grams is the same as 2.5 kilograms. If we have 32,947 grams, to work out what that is in kilograms, again, how many thousands are there altogether? We have 32 thousands, so that means that there's 32 whole kilograms, and the rest of that number is the leftover grams, and that comes after the decimal point. 32.947 kilograms. Looking at one the other way round, if we have 0.56 kilograms, you can see we don't have a whole kilogram here. Remembering the rule for multiplying by 1,000, in grams, that would be 560 grams. Here are some more for you to try. Pause the video between each question and have a go, then press play to see if you've got the solution. In kilograms, you have 3.285 kilograms. What's that in grams? If we look at that, we can see that we have 3 whole kilograms. So that's how many thousands of grams we have. The rest of that number will be in the hundreds, tens and ones for how many grams there are. So we have 3,000 285 grams when you multiply that by 1,000. If we have 832 grams, that's not quite 1,000, so it's going to be less than a whole kilogram. So there's no whole kilograms, but there's 0.832 of a kilogram, because that's the odd 832 grams. If you have 27 grams, this is going to be an even smaller number. Again, there are no kilograms, and when we divide 27 by 1,000, we get 0.027. And if we have just 5 grams, we divide that by 1,000 to find what that is in kilograms, and that's 0.005.